We started the business and we just saw the need for people to easily and quickly post their short form video content to all the different platforms. Because as you know, if you're doing this regularly, daily, put it this way, if you're doing it once a week, no worries. If you're doing it once a day, twice a day, sometimes people do it 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, and you're going out to 5 or 6 different platforms, then it becomes a total nightmare.
Brands listening who are doing a little bit on social, they may be seeing a little bit of luck, but they haven't gone all in. Like, what are some strategies they can use?
Back in the day when I started with this almost 20 years ago, the biggest pain point was the technology.
Gideon is a SaaS founder and video strategy expert focused on helping creators and personal brands grow their influence through short-form video. He is the founder of Vuby.ai, a platform that simplifies distributing and optimizing short-form videos across multiple social platforms from one place. Gideon previously built and scaled successful video education businesses and now helps creators be everywhere without burning out.
But then you also post the same video everywhere else. If you can, without any extra effort, why not? Because what happens is that you might publish something on YouTube Shorts, and that same video, if you have it on TikTok and Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, X, and LinkedIn as well.
Your thumbnails matter. People spend so much time on their thumbnails. I know I spend a decent amount of time, but actually last couple of weeks I was wondering, do they even matter? What matters? What doesn't? So this is a bit of an interesting episode because right after this episode, I'm going to take the video footage from this. We're going to slice it up and I'm going to upload it into a tool called Vuby, which I heard about maybe a couple months ago on a podcast with Pat Flynn. For those of you listening, Pat Flynn runs the Smart Passive Income podcast. I was listening to it. I heard about this tool. I happened to be looking for a tool that would allow me to easily upload and schedule all the content that you see. Listeners, if you follow my show on Instagram and YouTube and you see the reels posted. So I have the founder of this app with me. And the way this came about is Gideon, who's sitting here, he's chomping at the bit. We need to get into it, but I just want to give a little bit of background because I installed Vuby. I started using it and I had a couple. This is the way my brain works running a software company. I had some ideas and thoughts. And so I messaged through the chat app on Vuby and I said, hey, I had a question about this. And here's maybe an idea. And your first reply was, hey, do you want to hop on a call and tell me all your ideas? And I'd love to hear them and see if we can incorporate them. And I just loved that because I thought, man, this guy's going to build an amazing product because he has that mindset of listening to customers. And I thought you'd book like a 5-minute call or something. You sent a meeting request for an hour I think, to hear every idea I had. I told you some of the ideas. You shipped some of them a week later. They're live. And I use this app every single day. So I said, Gideon, I got to have you on the show because I know that Shopify merchants can use and benefit from what you're building. So thank you so much for coming. Tell us. We're going to get into it, but can you describe, I know I've alluded to it a little bit here, but tell me, what is Vuby in a nutshell?
Yeah, thanks for that. That's such a wonderful, I guess, testimony to how we operate at Vuby. We love feedback from our customers and then responding to them as quickly as we can so that we can continuously improve the product and meet people where they are and what they need. So that's really important. One interesting thing, if you're already Googling this, if you're looking for Vuby, that we pronounce it Vuby, but you spell it Vubli. So it's Vuby.ai, Vubli.ai. If you want to check it out. Some people spell it a bit differently. We chose the sort of European pronunciation of it. But yeah, we started the business a while back and we just saw the need for people to easily and quickly post their short form video content to all the different platforms. Because as if you're doing this regularly, daily, or put it this way, if you're doing it once a week, no worries. You can post easily to different platforms. If you're doing it once a day, twice a day, sometimes people do it 3 or 4 or 5 times a day, and you're going out to 5 or 6 different platforms, then it becomes a total nightmare. Yeah. So we wanted to create something that sort of takes that pain off your back and do it specifically for short form video in particular, because there's some certain things that's specific to short form video that is not specific to, say, long form or images or text posts or the general social media stack that people have.
Well, I want to tell you what I love about it for those listening, because I was searching for something to make my life easier for posting. Because the challenge I was running into, and I guarantee a lot of people listening are running into a similar challenge, is I don't even know, there's 5, 6. You got Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook stories. There's all these different platforms. And sometimes you produce a piece of content and you post it on one. And my challenge was I would almost always remember to upload it to YouTube. That was kind of like the primary one. Sometimes I would upload it to Instagram. Sometimes I wouldn't. I actually started a Trello board, and every time I had a reel or like any piece of content, I would have a to-do and I would check each one and copy and paste stuff over and literally check each one. But to be honest, I looked back and probably only about half of the content that came from this podcast ended up getting posted because I just would get distracted and I wouldn't get to it. And then I wouldn't feel like, oh, a month later, do I want to post this reel from that episode a month ago? Probably not. So I would just let it scrap.
Yeah.
So I know there's other tools out there. You didn't invent posting across multiple platforms. But what I loved about it was the first thing that attracted to me was just ease of it. But then there was this killer thing that you built that I didn't even know about when I installed it. And that was that I could build these prompts to generate the content for the post unique for each platform. So this is awesome because I think a lot of people are using some type of AI tool to produce content. Now I give it guidance. I'll write an example and I'll kind of give it structure. But I think that's commonplace now as people are using ChatGPT or Gemini, but there's a workflow going back and forth. But you kind of built that all seamlessly into Vuby. Tell me about this workflow. And actually, I'd love to actually show it a little bit too.
Yeah, sure. It's interesting. You mentioned that was sort of a bit of an Easter egg for you to discover that, the AI stuff, that you had so much control over it. And that was actually one of the key customer feedback things we got from people when as we were building it. So that's a relatively new thing we did. I would think we only made that available about 6 months ago or so. But because we originally had the AI prompts just on our side. We didn't have it available for customers. So, and everybody was saying, hey, the responses are great, but can we adjust it ourselves? Can we have our own prompts in there? So when we thought about it, it's like, why bother keeping our prompts proprietary? I mean, everybody is going insane with their own prompts anyway on ChatGPT or Claude or whatever else. So we thought, let's open source it. Not fully open source, but the idea of opening it up to our customers at least and say, hey, here it is. Here's what we use for the defaults. But you can make it your own. Copy it if you want, completely delete it if you want, reset the default if you want, or use a combination of what we've got and your own ideas and tailor it in such a way that you can get the perfect response. And in fact, that was a big part of what our call was about as well, is to make that even better. And I've got some cool stuff to share with you, not on this call, but maybe afterwards with some of the things we've been working on behind the scenes to make that even better and to take it to the next level to help you get an even better result. So that's just in the pipeline, yeah.
I always post different on different platforms, and I think that's pretty standard. Like you write a certain way on LinkedIn versus Twitter versus TikTok versus Instagram. And so you can really tailor certain prompts for each platform and even the hashtags. Like on LinkedIn, for example, I'll usually add a couple hashtags. I don't add 20, but on other platforms, it's more acceptable and to common practice to add a bunch of hashtags. You don't see that as much on LinkedIn, and it feels out of place if you have a post and you have 20 hashtags on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Versus TikTok, Instagram, you see that more there. So I love that the prompts are tailored by each platform, even the hashtags as well too.
For sure. Each platform is a little bit different. It's interesting looking at the spread of our audience, our target audience. Some people prefer just using the exact same post or content or caption, as people call it, for every platform. And sometimes even for every video, and they might change just one thing like the episode number or the series number or whatever. So it's quite a variety of different needs that we've got to cover. But yeah, at the moment, you can have 100% unique response for each of the platforms. And yeah, that's intentional. I'm not sure if everybody likes that. We like it because it gives you that control. People prefer the simplicity of just being able to have the same thing over, but we've built tools for that as well. So if you just want to have the same thing, we've got a little button there that says, if you like this one, just copy it over to all the different platforms. I'm not sure if you've seen that one.
I actually didn't notice that yet, but that's awesome.
This is another little Easter egg. So for those folks who just don't want to think about it and they're just happy with what they want What they have on YouTube, they can copy that over to Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all the other platforms we have available. So they don't have to think about it. So they just make that one decision once for the content and then say, hey,
Right.
this is going to be okay for all the other platforms. They don't care that it's the same. But yeah, at the
Right.
moment, you've got that control to have it separately tailored for each platform as well.
So the reason I wanted to bring you on the show was it's all e-commerce store owners listening, and they're not specifically big content creators and YouTube stars. They're running e-commerce stores. But content on social media is one of the main ways people find out about your product, your brand, and it's how you build a relationship with your customers. And I think it's really important that e-commerce brands are paying attention doing this, because your audience is so critical. And so I think that Vuby has the potential to make people's lives easier in that process, which then if it's easier, there's more likelihood that it's going to get done. It's going to get published. But any advice? I think I heard you talk about this with Pat Flynn, the hero platform concept, like maybe highlight that, but maybe any others for brands listening who are doing a little bit on social. They're maybe seeing a little bit of luck, but they haven't gone all in. Like, what are some strategies they can use?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things there to go through. One is the bottlenecks that you have when it comes to publishing content, and the other one is like, should you be everywhere? And what's the best way to be everywhere if you want to be everywhere, or should you just pick one platform? What's the point of going out to different platforms in the first place? So let's tackle that first one first, the production side of things, which is when it comes to video in particular, video posts. There are so many points at which you can fail, and as time goes by, a lot of those failure points are getting removed. So to give you an example, back in the day when I started with this almost 20 years ago, the biggest pain point was the tech side, the technology. For example, I started with doing interviews with people, just similar to this, but back then, and this is 2006, 2007, around about there, everybody was doing audio interviews, right? And that was the thing.
Yeah.
And no one was doing video. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to be different, because if you understand that, you got to be different, right? You got to be cool.
Yeah.
So I bought myself a camcorder and went to these events where all these great speakers would be speaking. And afterwards, I approached them and said, hey, do you want to come on an interview with me? And I'd have a hotel room booked with the camera set up and everything. And so I did all these interviews on video with this little camcorder. And the big plan was to turn it into some sort of a podcast or actually, it wasn't a podcast. Podcast wasn't a thing back then, but it was going to be a membership site, and I was going to write a book from it and blah, blah, blah. I had this huge vision for it. Turns out that those files that came from the camcorder were so big that it completely killed my computer at the time, and just became such a big barrier for me. That project never saw the day of light. And I interviewed 15 or 20 people. And all of them, even though I gained an incredible knowledge and experience and great connections from it, I just wasn't able technically to make it happen. And so you look today now, you've got an iPhone or a mobile phone, and that completely takes care of that problem. The recording or the technical side is completely, the bottleneck's gone. It's no problem there anymore. The next problem was like the ideation of content and what should I create my content about. That's kind of been solved now with AI too, other ways of just coming up with content. But really the next one is the posting side of it. How do you, especially if you want to be everywhere and post to different platforms, that's the latest bottleneck. It's like you create your content, no problem, and you're ready to post, but now boom, you're stuck. And then the question is, do you go just to one platform, or do you go to all of them, to as many as possible, all the main ones? And there's various ideas on that. People's ideas have changed. If you asked me before Vuby, say 5 years ago, what should the strategy be? I would say pick one platform and just do that really well. And only once you've built great momentum with that, then move on and add one more platform and do it like that. And
Any
that was
strategies on how to pick which platform, just whichever one you're comfortable with?
Well, yeah, back then the advice certainly was pick the one that you think you have the best potential of succeeding at. And that's the easiest for you. So it's the lowest hanging fruit approach. So for me, it's always been YouTube. And part of that decision making is, where's your audience? Where are they hanging out? Are they sitting on YouTube? Are they on TikTok, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, X? Where do they hang out the most? And where do you want to go and meet them the most as well? Like, which platform do you feel the biggest affinity to spend most of your time on? And that advice hasn't changed too much actually with just one addition. And the big addition there is that now the change is instead of just picking one platform, you still do, but now you call that your hero platform. And this is what I talked to Pat Flynn about. You still have your hero platform, in my case, it's YouTube, but then you also post the same video everywhere else. I mean, if you can, without any extra effort, why not, right? Because what happens is that especially with short form video, you might publish something on YouTube Shorts, and that same video, if you have it on TikTok and Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels, X, and LinkedIn as well, you might notice that, hey, that video went viral on TikTok, or it got like 10 times more views than on anywhere else. The next day, you might see another video. This time it goes viral on YouTube and none of the other ones. And so what's great about that strategy is that even though you pick one platform as your hero platform and you spend most of your time, attention, effort on that platform, but still post everywhere else with a tool like Vuby, it opens up that audience for you. And it introduces you to audiences you never would have seen before. And I think that's really where the magic happens.
Yeah. It makes sense because it's overwhelming for some people to think they might not, if you don't live in TikTok, all the nuances of TikTok, that's okay. Just post how you would post on YouTube, but at least syndicate the content to TikTok. So at least it's there. I mean, everything is algorithm based now anyway. It doesn't matter if you have a single follower, but if the algorithm picks it up for whatever reason, it's not whether you have 1 million followers or not. It's whether the content gets picked up. It's going to get picked up, right? So
yeah, that's a really good point, Jay, actually, that I didn't make. But yeah, the algorithms are driving it at the moment. And they're all slightly different. And they all get driven and motivated by the different audiences as well. So TikTok audience might drive a different kind of response than a YouTube Shorts audience. But everybody's been saying that it's not about your subscribers anymore. It's about each individual video that you make. So if you've got 2 subscribers, you could get a video that gets 1 million views. If you've got 5 million views, you can create a video that only has 2 views. So
I think this just goes to show, like, if someone says, well, I don't have any followers on TikTok, I haven't built up an audience there, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Post there.
Not anymore.
Let the algorithm do what it does.
Yeah.
And
yeah, and it used to be like a subscriber game. Like if you had the subscribers, then you were the big shot. But now it's a view game and it's an engagement game, and it's creating content that your target audience is interested in consuming. That's really what it's about. And it's always really been about that, but it's been measured in a different way. Like especially on YouTube, your subscriber base was considered more important back then than it is today. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I think it's still important, like having subscribers so that you can have repeat views. But it seems like the algorithm oftentimes, depending on who you talk to, this is interesting actually, depending on who you talk to, but it seems like in most cases, it opens you up to new audiences that are not your subscribers. But I just interviewed Daniel Batal, for example. For him, it's actually the opposite way around. He gets a lot of his views from his subscribers as well as from SEO, which is really interesting. So it's not necessarily all the same, but in general, it seems to me that it's not so much about subscribers. It's about creating great content. That's really what it comes down to. It's figuring out who it is you're creating content for and creating that content that they will love and that they will want to share. So yeah, that's the change in emphasis.
And when you say SEO, you mean search, like when the videos surface in search results or in the AI overview. And so the video, it's not just YouTube that it's showing. You might have no followers, but if it's relevant to a search, Google's gonna show it in a search result.
Yeah. So this is from Daniel's perspective. So he's a YouTube guy. So this is specifically related to YouTube Shorts in particular. But what he would have is it get both. I didn't 100% check this, but from my understanding is he would get views from the search function inside YouTube. So people would search for a keyword and then his video would come up inside YouTube. Then he'd also get those same videos show up on a Google search. And I'm assuming now with AI integrated into it as well, so it'll also serve videos like that. But I'm not too clued up on that at the moment. So, but that's probably going to be the next game as well. But again, there's an SEO play as well here. But I asked him about this. Hey, so do you do like crazy amounts of keyword research and SEO optimization stuff? And he says, no, it's actually he optimizes for the human still. So I think there's a combination of being aware of what people are searching for, but then still thinking, hey, you're not creating this for a robot or for a search engine. You're creating this for a human, but with that knowledge of still within the right topic or within the right keyword sort of cloud, I guess you could call it, so that you can be. So if you've got a product, for example, if you're in e-commerce business, then, it probably still is a good idea to have the name of the product there inside the video content itself, but maybe inside your title description and tags as well. I think that makes sense
Yeah.
to give the platforms that additional vote of confidence or additional information that they know that this is what your video content is about. So
Yeah.
I don't think it can hurt at all.
I mean, every single thing I search for, I've started using the Google search a little bit like ChatGPT, because that it's going to show the AI overview, right?
Yeah.
So that top third is now basically an AI response and then the search results. And so I sometimes will write a question in there. Like I used to search, so for example, let's say I'm searching for, I used this example the other day, like how to catch a certain type of fish. Let's just say a walleye fish, like fish in Canada. Do you have the, probably
No, we don't have
there.
those here now, but
Yeah,
we do
okay.
fish over here.
So if I'm Googling or saying what lure do I use to catch a certain type of fish?
Yeah.
I might put that in ChatGPT and get a big long answer, but I just throw that in Google and the AI overview now always has a video. It always has a video for any question. Like it'll give a couple steps and it'll have a video. So if I'm selling fishing lures, I'm probably going to make videos that have details about how to catch that specific type of fish, optimized for AI to show it in its overview. And then in the description, links to my products and everything else. It feels like Google is really leaning towards showing video everywhere they can, especially if it's hosted on YouTube.
100%. Yeah. And it's interesting how the shorts game has grown over the years and how that's become a big emphasis. Like if you do a search on YouTube now for anything, you'll see shorts results very prominently displayed. And that's been quite a big change, say from a year or 2 years ago. Shorts used to be sort of like more you get it in the feed thing. But now, you do a search on YouTube and you see shorts, it's very prominent. It's almost, actually, I don't know what it is like at the moment, but last time I checked, it's like every 5 results, you get a whole row of shorts results. And so maybe that's even ramping up. I haven't checked what the numbers are.
Well, I read a stat actually just yesterday that shorts consumption has gone up 54% year over year since 2024. So in the last 2 years, it's compounded growth, 54% year over year. So, I mean, and these are not highly produced pieces of content. This is holding up your phone with a selfie, talking about your product. I think for brands listening, like that's probably one of the biggest questions they have is like, well, what content do I produce? I mean, it's like show a pile of boxes ready to go out the door. Like your shipping team, like printing labels. Like, did you have a day with a bunch of orders? Like talk about your boxing stuff up till midnight or whatever it is. Like you're launching a new product, give little sneak peeks. Like there's so many things that I think like behind the scenes type of content that brings people into that story. Right. So
it's been interesting. Like, are you going to ask about what tips on how to create
I was going to ask
that goes viral or great content like this?
do you know what is, can you see that in the back end of Vuby? Like which scripts make it or types of content go viral? We want to know the secret.
We don't have a software that analyzes all of that. We probably could if we wanted to, but at the moment we don't. But so I just sort of get a feel for, in general, looking at what people are doing and sort of views they're getting. But what's been really interesting is I started a new podcast for Vuby. It's called the Vuby Podcast, very creative and original. But there I interview two kinds of people. One, people who are doing short form, but in particular teaching other people how to succeed with short form video as well. So that's one group. But then I also interview case studies of people who've done really well with short form. I ask them, what the heck have you done to go viral? Or what is the secret? And there are a few things that everyone is saying that's repeated over and over again. Like from almost all of them are saying, they're all saying different things, but there are a few, like 2 or 3 things that are the same. One is, the biggest tip is to go and look what's already working. Like so you go and search for the viral videos in your industry that are already crushing it. Okay, so that's the first step. then you model from them. You don't copy them, but you model from them. You sort of look at what are the hooks they're using, what are the structure they're using, what sort of are they, is it in a studio, is it outside? Like, what is it about that video that you can model from as a beginning point, right? So I would probably add a step even before that, but it's sort of assumed, but that's your niche, your target audience. What's your topic? That's like the ace card. It's the most important thing. If you've got a topic that nobody's interested in, it doesn't matter who you model from or how good your ideas are. If there's nobody there who's interested to go and watch your content, you're just not going to get the views. So topic selection is huge. But from that, within that topic, then you go to see who are the winners, who's already succeeding, and then you model from that. And then the next biggest idea from that is, yes, there's your hook and you're creating engaging content and have good call to action, all this sort of stuff. I think that comes maybe fourth. But the third biggest one for me is to think about how you can create or set up your content in a series format. There's different names for this. Some people call it a series. Some people call it stories or episodes or silos, or there's a whole bunch of different ideas of formats. Format's another way that people label it, but it's all the same thing. And basically what it means is finding a, let's call it a series, which is a video that is essentially a video format that is essentially almost exactly the same every single time, but it's a winning one. It's a winning formula. It's a winning format. And then you just change the content. And it can be as crazy as this example. So with Daniel that I just interviewed, Daniel Batali, he's really worth looking into if you're interested in YouTube and growing on YouTube. So if you look at his shorts, they're doing really well. And he only has one hook. It's exactly the same hook every single time. So it's the same recording. It's not even, he doesn't even re-record. It's like, I was quite surprised to see that because I thought, oh, maybe you need to record the same thing, but record it differently every time. No, he's got the same video file that he slides into the beginning of each video. It's exactly the same. And then he gets into the content of the video. But I'm not saying that's worth testing. If you can find something that wins, why not keep using it? But the idea is that you have a format with a certain structure that you maybe model from these winning videos, and you just add your own content in it. So the format every day is the same. And it's literally like the winning ones, the people that are doing the same, they found a format that works and they just keep on crushing that format until it stops working and they find the next one. But the people who seem to be winning, it's almost like, if you look at Pat Flynn, he's a good example with his short pocket monster.
100%. I was literally going to just say that.
What is it? Should I open it or should I keep it sealed? Right?
It's a little jingle and he's got a pack of Pokemon cards. Should I open it or should I keep it closed? Something along those lines.
Yeah, should I keep it sealed? Exactly. So, and it's exactly, that clip is exactly the same every single time. And so he might vary the beginning of it, like with something like, hey, what's up guys? Oh, check out this. I found this cool new deck or something. But then it's like, should I open it or should I keep it sealed? And it's always the same.
He apparently tested that hook. He had slight variations of it, used a different word, like, should I keep it closed, sealed, different things. And he tested everything about that.
Yes.
Found the hook that worked. And then to your point, just repeats the exact same one. And he's grown, I don't even know how many millions of subscribers, but he hit 1 million in like 45 days from launch.
He smashed it. So I interviewed him on this as well. So he, if I remember the numbers right, after 301 days, he had 2.5 million subscribers or something like that. But it was like 2 something billion views or something, like crazy numbers of views, just 300. So it's under a year. And the interesting thing about his experience was that he didn't show any real results for his shorts for, I forget the number, but I think it was something like day 35 and then on day 36. It's like, so he was getting like a few hundred views every time for his videos. And then on day 36, 700,000 views all of a sudden. And that was his breakthrough
algorithm
point.
just picked it up.
Yeah. And I asked him, so what was it? What was it that made the difference? Did you do something different for that video or what was it? Because everybody wants to know the secret. Basically his answer was he didn't really know, except that he kept on going and he did notice some small things that he changed. But I think part of his answer was also that he just kept on going and YouTube in that case found the right audience for him finally. So it took him 35 days. I think some people I think that's relatively short. Actually, some people take a lot longer before they hit it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, he found that format. He kept on going. And yeah, now a few billion views later, a few million subscribers later, he just continues to smash it. And he still continues to test different formats every now and then, but that's
Yep.
still his main one. If you look at his content, I don't watch all these videos because I'm not interested in Pokemon cards myself, but from what I understand is pretty much the same format every single time. Or
I
in
love the
general.
concept of coming up with a series. My mind is just spinning with and so many ideas. I'm going to throw a couple out there that I've seen some brands do, and you can definitely replicate this for those listening. I saw one brand once a month. They call a customer. They have their iPhone, and I guess they're filming with another iPhone. They pick a random customer. They call them, and they refund them.
Okay.
So someone who just placed an order, they just call them up and they say, "Hey, Gideon, saw you just placed an order. Once a month, we like to bless someone with a refund. And so we're refunding you $520, but we're still shipping your order you're getting today." And sometimes people cry on the phone,
Wow.
and sometimes
That's cool.
they just blown away. And just like, it's the best advertising. I've seen people do where they put secret stuff inside boxes. And so they'll be packing up all the boxes to ship out, and they'll put something, some little, could be an object, could be a trinket, could be a fidget, could be a note,
Yeah.
could be something. And then they blur out the addresses, and they'll say, "Okay, we're putting in to this week's secret thing is
Nice.
whatever." And
Yeah.
we're putting it in. And then people want to know if they get it. And it's like, tag us on social if you get it. And it's easy to do little things like that. Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
be overcomplicate things, like, and then do
exactly,
it
yeah.
consistently.
Yeah, exactly. And the other additional thought on that, and that I've been trying to experiment with as well, because I've been doing Pat's, and when you're mentioning Pat quite a bit here, but he's actually running a 30-day video challenge at the moment for short form. And I've been in that. I haven't been posting every day, but I've learned a ton from it. But one of the key distinctions I came to realize with this idea of the series, I always used to think that it needs to be like an episodic sort of kind of series, one story, then the next part of the story, and the next part of the story.
Yeah.
That's way too hard. It's like, if you're in
Yeah.
Hollywood, sure, you go ahead and do that. But this is actually a lot easier. It's the same thing every time. However, I think it was Pat that mentioned this as well. If you can instill into the viewer that, what's the word I'm looking for? The sort of looking forward
Yes.
to the next episode.
Anticipation.
The anticipation, that's the word I'm looking for. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
If you can instill some anticipation in your content, that they will want to watch the next video to see, what happens next. So it doesn't have to be like this huge episodic sort of thing. But so he mentioned, there's, for example, format where you learn a new skill, and people want to follow along, because now you start with, hey, this is day one of learning how to be more productive. I did a bit of a productive series, and people, if you want to follow, you don't even have to tell them, because just by the virtue of saying, hey, this is day one, there's going to be a day two, most likely. So people will subscribe then to want to watch the next one, or they want to tune in, or they're going to go to your profile or channel page and go, where's the next video? Maybe I only got served day 2 out of 500. I want to see more. So if you can build that into your videos so that there's that expectation or looking forward to, or anticipation of, hey, there's more. I can experience more of this.
Yeah.
That's cool. So that, I think, that was another really cool idea to think about, because it's like, it's one thing to create or to pick a format that has a viral nature to it. But then the thing is, you want to get people coming back as well. You don't want to just get new people all the time, because it's, as in commerce, any business, your most valuable or the easiest customers you get are the repeat customers.
100%.
The highest return on investment is your repeat customers, because you don't have to market to them again, et cetera, et cetera. And they buy more from you, they spend more from you, et cetera, because they already have an existing relationship with you.
And I bet you the algorithm picks it up too. The more people that watch over and over, it just shows the algorithm that you're making good content.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah. And again, if you can sort of engineer it in a way that it's designed to get people to want to come back and watch more of your content. Because sometimes you watch here's a good example. I might see a video on Instagram and it's gone viral and it's great. But then I think it's probably the only one of its kind though, what I want to see. I don't really particularly care if there's another. If I see another one that's kind of the same, I go, yeah, it's cool, but it's not as cool as the original one. Or so it's that idea of it's kind of the same thing, but it's different, and there's progress, that there's a change. There's something that is unexpected. Like in Pat's case, like it's always the same, but there's the thing that changes that's like there's an unexpected thing happening inside each video and you want to see what
Yeah.
happens next. So I
Yeah.
think that's quite a cool thing to think about.
Hey, Gideon, we're going to take a real quick break here. When we come back, though, I want to talk to you about how you package up these videos, titles, thumbnails. Do those matter? Do subtitles matter? Some of those questions, what matters, what doesn't. But just want to take a quick second to hear from some of our sponsors that make this show possible. So we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And Gideon, do thumbnails matter? People spend so much time on their thumbnails. I know I spend a decent amount of time, but actually last couple of weeks, I was wondering, do they even matter? What matters? What doesn't?
Yeah, great question. I certainly for long form, no question, it matters big time. And that's why you've seen so many of the big YouTubers talk about that and the importance of thumbnails and even thumbnail software. And Mr. Beast released some software for it and got massive backlash because of AI and people are talking about taking jobs away from the thumbnail creators. But there's a whole industry around just thumbnail creation, and AI is trying to take over that a little bit, but I'm not sure if it's managing that just yet, if it's doing quite a good enough job just yet. But yeah, certainly for long form and specifically on YouTube, that's always been important. I mean, I wrote a report on this, the importance of thumbnails, how to create good thumbnails back in circa 2009, 2010. And the basic ideas for creating great thumbnails, and it hasn't really changed. There's a few things that people are doing slightly differently compared to, when was that? It's 15 years ago now, right? So things have progressed a bit, but the essential basic idea is still the same. Now, the question is, and just on that point, when you ask a very successful YouTuber what's most important for getting views, they'd say, okay, topic, number one, probably. Then number two is probably your thumbnail. Yeah. And
Number
you go,
two.
what, your thumbnail? So yeah, your thumbnail, because discoverability is huge on a place like YouTube. People do a search and then you get judged, or people's decision on clicking is based on the thumbnail. It's like, sure, that the title and stuff, but they see the thumbnail first. So your thumbnail is uber important when it comes to long form. Now, the big question is for short form, what about that? Because in short form, people are just scrolling with their thumbs on their phone. They never see a thumbnail. So what's the point of a thumbnail? Well, guess what? If you go to YouTube, we mentioned this earlier, let me just actually check this now so I can sort of verify this, because I try and
there's often a section that shows all the shorts kind of in a bar as you scroll. Like it breaks it up. And I think Instagram does that too.
That's right. So can I share my screen so people can see that?
Yes.
So let me share this now. Share screen, entire screen. So hopefully there's nothing embarrassing showing here, but this is, let me show.
We'll see your YouTube algorithm.
So, okay, some ads at the top and then look, so there's three results.
Oh, hey, I see a Shopify 1% reel right there.
And guess what? I watched some of your content, so that must be a reason.
There we go.
This Pat, I've been watching some Pat videos as well. This is actually one of my own ones. I'm not sure why it serves me my own ones. But look at that. There's one line of long form, and then the next row is all short form, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 results.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So this is so perfect right now, because that reel that you're seeing right there,
this one here.
That's a guest from just recently, but the reel just went out today.
Yeah.
And this reel actually has a thumbnail at the beginning, but I chose not to. You know how with YouTube, you have to, the first scene can become a thumbnail.
Right.
I was experimenting just as of the last couple of weeks with either using a thumbnail or using one in the reel where there's like a sentence that looks maybe intriguing. And so this one, it says building a brand, and he's got a little bit of a questioning face.
Funny look on his face, yeah.
Right. And so I'm doing a test as we speak.
Good. Yeah.
Versus like kind of the thumbnail on the left there, which obviously Gary Vaynerchuk knows what he's doing, but it's got a title and it's got certain things. And so I sometimes the over polished stuff I don't click on myself.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's an interesting thing with shorts now, because like with the longer form ones, that's being developed into an absolute art.
Yes,
what is
100%.
it that gets people to click?
Yeah.
And these thumbnails are pretty big. So our eyes, I don't know about you, but I hardly even look at the description down here or the title and text. It's like I just look at the thumbnail and see some game stuff. Okay, here's long form again. So again, there's Pat. This is live show coming up from Pat. But look at this one with Jackie Chan. Yeah, that's a good thumbnail. I mean, there's no text on there, but you go, oh, that's a funny looking thumbnail. It grabs your attention. There's color. There's a bit of pink and yellow. Like
there's a little bit of a what is going to happen 1 second after that.
Correct.
Scene.
Yeah. And so at the moment, I'm not seeing that same kind of trend with short form yet. And I think the reason is, especially on YouTube, they've made it really hard to get thumbnails showing for short form. I don't know why. Like, I don't know why they just give people the option. Like Daniel mentioned that YouTube
To
mentioned.
up,
So this is second hand knowledge, but apparently they just wanted to make the experience so easy and simple for people when it comes to shorts that they thought, let's leave out the
mm,
complication of thumbnails. But my argument is, why not make it optional for everyone else who wants to use thumbnails? Because look how prominent this is in a search. Like, I didn't do this is just on the homepage. Like if I do, let's say, how to create a Fi store. I don't know this. I'm trying to think what someone
yep,
might do in your case. Okay, so this is slightly different. So there's more long form results here. But let's keep
yep.
scrolling a bit and then boom. So even on a search result, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 results, right? Of long form,
Horizontal, and
horizontal,
then
yeah.
comes the
And then
short
the 1,
form.
2, 3, 4, 5 of short form. Boom. Okay.
Yeah,
And you keep
yeah,
scrolling, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's a bit more, probably depends on the industry. It's a little bit more, maybe either 10 or whatever. And then the short form
yeah,
again. The point
yeah,
is that this is becoming more and more prominent. And
yeah.
you look at you can just see the difference here between, let's say, this
Totally.
Shopify one thumbnail here, and none of these have a thumbnail. Now, I wonder, I imagine, and I don't know how much stats there is on this yet, but if there are videos here with proper thumbnails, if they would get more views as a result. The ones coming, surely they must. But now the big question is, how are short form thumbnails different to landscape, long form thumbnails? Like what should be different about them to get that click? Is it going to be the
Yeah,
same rules? Because like for landscape long form videos, oftentimes you want to have a face in there. You want to have some color. You don't want to make it too complicated, etc. I've read that you actually don't want to have your face on the right hand side. You can get slightly better results if your face is on the left hand side
mm,
and things like that, because your eye first goes to the face and then to the text. So this is a good example. If your face goes to the right hand, sees the pretty girl on the right hand side first, and then it's got to sort of track back to the left hand side to see what it's about. So you lose a fraction of a second there. Little things like that. So the big question is, this is now vertical for short form. What is the winning formula there? And I don't know, I haven't seen many people talk about this just yet. I've got some of my own ideas on it, did my own research on it, what I think might work. But I'm kind of with you on that. I think the more organic looking things might do
yeah,
better. But one thing that I think is always in common, whether it's content or thumbnails, you can sum it up in one word, and that's curiosity or
yeah.
intrigue. If you can create a video or an image that creates or invokes curiosity or intrigue, then your chances of getting clicked on or being watched is much, much higher. Just go through the roof. So if there's one thing from this whole interview that you can
Yeah.
think of, that you can take home, is like, how can you create more curiosity or intrigue in either your video content or your thumbnails? Yeah. Or your
Interesting.
titles and descriptions and captions. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And captions, that was the other thing I wanted to touch on. Would you say they're a must, or do you let the platform just put on their auto captions? Do you recommend people create them themselves, or?
Yeah, so just to clarify the terminology there. So when people use the word captions, it's a little bit confusing these days. It can mean two things depending on what you're talking about or what you're referencing to. So if you say captions, that's the text that's inside the video that's been edited in, showing on your video. So the words as you speak them, right, that's showing on the actual video, those are captions. So we've been more recently just been trying to call them subtitles. It's a little bit more specific, but a lot of people call them captions still. But on Instagram, they call the text that goes on the side along with your video, not on the video, what we might call a description on YouTube, they call that the caption. And same
Right.
on, I think TikTok calls it a caption as well. Facebook Reels might call it a caption as well. So it's a little bit confusing. But if you're talking about the subtitle one, whether you should have
That's what
the
I meant.
text
Yes.
burnt into the video, answer
Yeah.
is 100% yes. I think, and if you can have it burnt into your video, that's just been standard advice. Absolutely go for that, because that means no one else can remove it. They can't turn it off. It's always going to be there. But the other reason for having it as well is the platforms are different, but some of them still autoplay your video on silent mode. And it's important to show the caption so people can quickly see what the video is about before they click away or before they click on it to keep watching. But a lot of the platforms actually play your video with sound on these days. So the captions arguably becomes less important, and then it becomes an audible hook becomes much more important than the visual hook, which often would be part of the caption strategy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to it. Yeah.
I
But
actually
we'll
even
get it in.
open, I won't open TikTok on my phone. There's probably a setting, I just haven't done it yet, but TikTok is one of the platforms that by default, the audio is on, where like if I open Instagram and I scroll, the audio is not on. I have to click on a reel for the audio to play.
Right.
But I actually don't open TikTok because that if I'm in bed
Yep.
or if I'm somewhere,
You wake up
and
anyone else who's trying to sleep.
who knows what reel is going to play too? Like TikTok will play the most random reel too. So
100%.
so I think another reason why having the captions are really important. So
Definitely.
okay, well, before we run out of time here, I want to maybe like one thing I want to end on, and then I know we've got an amazing offer that you've put together here, which I just, for listeners, stay tuned to the end, because if you want to use Vuby, I use it and it's been an absolute lifesaver for me. We've got a really awesome offer, but for brands listening, did you say you're doing the 30-day challenge with Pat Flynn?
Yeah, I was just doing it on my personal profile, but yeah.
Well, one of the questions I wanted to ask was, what would be a good, and I'm not trying to, it's just coincidence that I was going to say, what would be a 30-day challenge for a brand to start and something to do or something to implement? So I don't know, maybe if there's some learning from there or your own, but what do you recommend someone who's not starting from zero, like they've got their account set up, but they want to actually make an impact in their business with content and social media and video form?
Yeah.
Any advice that you can give on that?
Yeah, a lot of this advice from Pat. I mean, I've been doing this for 20 years now, so I've got some of my own stuff as well, but it's the short form stuff is a relatively new thing that I haven't had as much success and experience in myself. So I'm going to sort of defer to Pat's advice a little bit here. So he talks about one key thing at the beginning is to, when you measure your progress, don't measure it in terms of views or likes or comments, subscribes, and things like that. Measure it in terms of posts. How many posts are you posting? Did you post today? So after a month, if you posted 30 posts, check. So measure your progress in terms of runs on the board in terms of how many times you've posted. So if you posted a video, great. It's not about the views at the beginning. So, and that's, I've certainly found that with my own participation in the 30-day trial or 30-day challenge, was that when you force yourself to post every day, a few things happen. One is you've got to figure out a way to habitualize this, to turn it into a habit, right? So that you can repeat it and that it doesn't take the whole day, right? So if you want to do it every day, you need to figure out a way to turn it into a habit. But then the other thing that happens is you also really learn as you go, because you get feedback all the time. You post a video and not only just feedback that you get from viewers and likes and stuff like that, but your own feedback. You look at yourself and you go,
yeah,
I could have done that better, or maybe I could have structured that a bit better, or when I recorded that video yesterday, I didn't realize X, Y, Z. So now next time I'm going to record, I'm going to put that in, or I'm going to improve that. Yeah. So with every time you post, you learn and you improve. And I think that's probably what happened to Pat as well. By day 35, he did it so many times already that something just clicked and he just went viral from that day onwards. But I think that's the thing. Count the uploads, don't count the views at the beginning. And definitely think about the topic that you're going after. The more mainstream ones will get more views. I think that's just the reality of it. So if it's extremely niche, you might not get as many views. But then ask yourself the question, what if your thing is super niche, what can you create content on that's, if you're not getting many views, what content can you create on that's maybe just the next level up from that niche topic? What is the umbrella niche for that one? And if you're still not succeeding, go, what's the next level up? What's the next level up? So each time you go wider, that opens it up to a wider audience. And it's kind of like the opposite of advice is what I used to give for YouTubers. Like you want to go more and more narrow, right? Because you can get that target audience. But with short form, it seems kind of like the opposite. You want to, if your audience is not big enough, they're just not going to get the views. That seems to be the case. So I think that's something important to keep in mind as well. So think about your topic and then go and look at who's already succeeding and then model from that and then figure out the series. What is the series idea that you want to keep creating content around?
I love it. One of the things that LLMs like ChatGPT and Gemini and different tools, when you ask a question, it looks at authority of that person or that brand. And I've seen evidence that when you have a lot of content on channels, if someone asks, it knows that I run a Shopify podcast and there's a couple hundred Shopify related videos on our YouTube channel. And if I have a blog post and it gives more weight to that. Like it looks at all the different content that's out there. And so even if you don't have the likes and the views yet, the uploads do matter. I agree 100%. Like just keep them going. I took a picture of my laptop the other day. I was in a coffee shop and I had Vuby open and I had content on every single day. And it was the first 30-day stretch that I posted something every single day. And
Nice.
It's not for lack of content. Like once this video is done, I send it off to our video team and they'll splice up 10 different reels, but it's the time. And sometimes I'll go amazing and I'll post a whole bunch of stuff. And then I go a week without posting something. And I post stuff and then I forget to post for a week. Not I forget, you just go a couple of days. And one thing that I remember Pat Flynn saying, we have to tag him in this because you've mentioned him so many times, but with his short Pocket Monster, I remember him saying that consistency was so important. He found out that even down to like the time every day, not posting at like 6 a.m. and 5 p.m., but I think he said he does 11. I can't remember, but found a time and he even to the exact time, it's good for the audience. The audience knows when it's coming, but also YouTube. But if you miss a couple days, then it affected the views on the next video. So
yeah,
for me, Vuby has been a lifesaver for that. So like just putting it in and the content's going to go no matter what. And it's always a couple weeks ahead. So if I forget tomorrow, that's okay. The content is still going out. And I am trying to do it the exact same time every day. I'm experimenting. And so far I've actually seen an increase in views when I have them consistent. So it appears Pat's right, which I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Cool.
It's been such a great tool. So you've been so gracious with your time. We've gone over a bit here, but we have an offer, which is, I think anyone listening who wants to make their life easier and take their content to the next level for their Shopify brand. Vuby has been an amazing tool for me. I have no connection. Well, Gideon did sign up an affiliate account for me, but I don't even know how to log in, but that's beside the point. I want people to know that this is a tool that I use personally. And so the offer was 50% off for 3 months, correct?
Yeah. So for your first 3 months, there's a special way of getting it. You can go to vuby.ai. So it's VUBLI. Let me open up the page and you can see it as well. So I'll open up my screen.
Perfect.
Okay. So this is what it looks like. This is my own account that I'm using for Vuby, and you can see these are all videos that have been posted. I've got today is my programming day. It's Thursday here already for us. So I'll be scheduling all the content for the following week. But you can see here, this is for the past week, all the content that's been posting and that's coming up. This is just to show you for the previous month, all the content that's been scheduled in and posted. So like 2 to 3 videos a day. And there's like just zero way that I could do this manually. There's just absolutely no way.
Full-time job.
It's a full-time job, exactly. So with this, everything is sort of ready to rock. You can just click and drag your videos in. So I'll show you an example here. You can click and drag a video in, and once it loads here, you can check your content. And once you're happy with it, post it. So you can see here, this was just a test video, so it doesn't have all the stuff here, but I'll hit refresh here and it'll show you how the AI goes to work and creates like a title, description, even tags. So this will, when you upload your video, it'll automatically create.
Yeah, I've never actually done it through that flow. It always when I upload the video, it automatically does it at that point.
Yes. You can choose to turn it off as well. And that's what I had with this video. I had it turned off, but then you can also have it turned on and automatically creates all this for you.
Oh, okay.
It does it for all the platforms, and you have full control over, what gets said here. You can even delete all this as well. But like we said at the beginning of this call, you've got this ability to go straight into the AI area, the AI prompts, and adjust all of this. You can, for example, YouTube, you can get into the system prompt even for the title and the user prompt. So so we've fully opened this up, Jay, actually, but we thought maybe this is a bit overkill for a lot of people. So we're going to see if we can make it a bit more user-friendly for people coming up. But you're going to have still a lot of control over creating exactly what you want for your videos. So that's a bit about the platform. Did you want me to show you more before we talk about the offer, or is that enough for you to go off for now?
I think that's the AI. I'm glad you highlighted that, because that, to me, you say it's only for advanced users, but that's one of my favorite tools
Okay.
on there. And that was one of the first things I did, is I did spend a lot of time tweaking each prompt for each platform.
Right.
I also had prompts pre-written for ChatGPT and Gemini, and I pulled those in and anyways, massaged it a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yes.
So
Cool.
I think, I don't skip over that. I think that's a huge one.
Okay,
But
good.
yeah, anything else you want to highlight? Let's,
Yeah, I mean, I guess the ease of use is really the key thing. And like you talked about, like your content has no value unless it gets posted. So
100%.
you've got to get it out there. And so that's why we built this. So the idea is to make it really simple. You hit the upload button, you select your video. I'll have the AI just turned off for now just to show you, just to sort of speed things up a little bit. But let's say I have, where is it? Example video. So I'll just upload a video now, boom. And I've just did this through my Dropbox account, so it's nice and quick. Grabs the video, uploads it. There we go. It's ready to go. I hit next. And now once I hit the next button, it goes into the system. If you have the AI turned on, it'll start generating all your
Yeah.
content for you, ready to go. And once it's ready, you just review it, hit post or schedule. And that's how quick and easy it is. So that's the product loop. It's very quick and easy. But yeah, you can go to the homepage. At the moment, it's Vuby, so it's VUBLI.ai. Read a bit more about it, see if it's your kind of things, a bit more information on there, a few more other feature descriptions. There's Pat, actually. He's using it at the moment, so he's really gracious and gave us a cool testimonial there. But if you go through it and click on the try for free thing, we've got a free trial there. Go to the pricing page. We've got a monthly plan there, so this offers for the monthly offer. You can start the 7-day free trial, but when you go through it, I'm not sure if I might have to log out for this. Yeah, so I'm just logged in now, so it won't give me all the options. But when you go through this, when you get to the checkout page, if you use the coupon code J, so it's JAY, right? You'll get 50% off for the first 3 months. So that's only through J. If you type the
Amazing.
words J. If you don't type J, you won't get the discount. So make sure on the checkout you type JAY and hit go, whatever, submit, whatever, and it'll immediately remove 50% off the price for the first 3 months. So every month, instead of being $49, it'll be whatever, 49 divided by 2, $24.50 per month. Something like that.
That is extremely generous of you, and I will make sure we put that in the show notes as well too. But there's no link; you just have to enter the code. When
Yeah, just go to
JAY.
Vuby.ai, go to the pricing page or the free trial, or the pricing page is where you sign up for the free trial. And we've only got the one plan, so just go through there but do remember to type in J, otherwise you won't get the discount.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, and then lastly, where are you most active? Which social platform? So if people want to see your content, because you're producing some good content, where do you want to send them?
Yeah, I think probably the best place is if they want to check out content, go to YouTube and just search for Vuby or Vuby Podcast. It's probably the best kind of content that I'm making at the moment, because I'm interviewing. Tell you what, man, the people I'm interviewing, they're so gracious with their time, and they're incredible. Like, so Pat was one of the people I interviewed, and we talked about him at length, but I interviewed Austin Armstrong, who's had millions and millions of views. I interviewed Jeremy Vest, he's like the guru behind the guru for YouTubers. He's had billions of views in customer or client views. He's helped like the top 20 go and listen to the interview, because we talk about that. It was like he's helped like the top 20 out of 50 companies in America with their YouTube strategy. He's just an absolute star when it comes to it, and a bunch of others. So yeah, if you go to YouTube and search for Vuby Podcast or just Vuby, go to the Vuby channel there, and you should be able to find that content pretty easy. So we post all the shorts there as well. But I think if you want to have deeper knowledge, go and listen to those interviews. I've been blown away by them, and it's really helped me up my game a lot as well.
Amazing. Well, speaking of people being gracious with their time, you've been gracious with yours. Thank you so much. And we'll include all these links in the show notes as well too. So Gideon, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay.